Welcome to your favorite math channel, and this is Mathemasoft. I'm welcoming you to another class, and this is a follow-up class on prime numbers. So in the last video, we already looked at the definition of a prime number. We looked at what a prime number is and how you can easily identify a prime number from the knowledge of factors of number. So if you know how to write factors of number, then any number that has only two factors, that is 1 and itself only, we say such a number is a prime number. And in our last video, we already made a list of them, starting with 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and so on and so forth. In that class, I gave you something to practice with, writing the next 10 prime numbers consecutively after 37. I hope you've done that. If you've not done that, please go to the previous video to actually take a look at that video and try your hands on the questions I gave you to try, which is very simple. Just to write the next 10 prime numbers after 37. So in this video, we begin playing around with prime numbers by writing a number as a product of its prime factors. Okay, so we'll be looking at the beauty of prime numbers in mathematics. So we can simply write numbers as as products of their prime factors. So let's look at the background knowledge that you should have to do this. Aside the fact that you already know what a prime number is, okay, you already understand what we mean by factors. Then what do we mean by products in mathematics? Some will say products in mathematics, we are simply referring to multiplication. If I ask you what is the products of 2 and 3, simply I'm only asking you to do 2 times 3, because that will be the product of 2 and 3, which will give us what? 6. So the answer will be 6. So when you hear the word product in mathematics, we are simply referring to multiplication. So here in this topic, let's analyze it. What we mean in this topic is that we want to learn how to write a number as a product of its prime factors. Let's take an example 8 as an example. The factors of 8, as we used as an example in the previous video, is that 8 has its factors, started with 1, next 2, 4, and then what? 8. Now, out of these 4 factors of 8, which of these factors of 8 are actually prime numbers themselves? We have 1 as a factor of 8, 2, 4, and 8. So which out of these 4 factors of 8, which of them is a prime number? The prime numbers here now, okay, the prime numbers out of these 1, 2, 4, and 8 is 2 only. 2 only is the prime number. It is very important for you to note that 1 is never a prime number. Why is 1 not a prime number? Simply because 1 has only 1 as a factor. And a prime number must have 2 factors only. So a prime number is a number that has 2 factors only. So every prime number has 2 factors. But because 1 has only 1 factor, okay, it has only 1 factor, that is what disqualifies 1 to be a prime number. So 1 is not a prime number. Why is 1 not a prime number? Because 1 has only 1 factor, which is 1 only. But a prime number must have 2 factors, okay, which must be 1 and itself, okay. must be 1 and itself only. So 1 is not a prime number. So that being established, now let's go back to the analysis. So out of the factors of 8 that we have here, 2 is the only prime number. Now this topic is simply telling us that how do we write 8 as a product of its prime factors? What is the prime factor of 8 now? Is 2. So how do we write 8? Okay, how do we simply write 8 as a product of its prime factor, which is 2, so that it will only be 2 that will appear, in multiples, in multiplication together to actually give us 8. So let's see how we can actually approach this. That's the analysis of what this topic is all about. So let's have 8. Okay, now when you look at 8, because what you want to do has to do with a prime factor, and which is what? Prime numbers. So every number you will use to divide the number given to you must actually be what? Prime numbers. And then that's a string of having something like you try 2. If you see that 2 cannot work, then you try 3. 3 cannot work, you try 5, you try 7, and 11, and so on and so forth to divide. But because 8 is an even number, so I know that what? 2 can go. Okay, and it's very advisable that you try to explore using 2 until you see that you cannot use 2 again, then you move to 3. This will actually help you not to get frustrated with the division. So try how 2. If 2 cannot work, that is when you should move on to 3. It doesn't mean that if you use 3 first and then use 2, you will be marked down, but it will make your work organized, and it will make you find it easy to get the work done on time. So let's go back to this. 2 in 8 will give us 4, and then having 4, I can see that I can still use 2. So I use 2 again. 2 in 4 will give me 2. Having 2, I can see that I can still use 2. 2 in 2 will give me 1. So you make your division until you get 1, and then these numbers here are actually the multiples, or the products that will give us what? 8. So we simply write 8 now equals what we have here, which is 2 times 2 times 2. And then 8 has been what? Written now as a product of its prime factors. You see, it is only 2 which is a prime factor, the only prime factor of 8 that appear in this product that we have written. So 8 can be written as 2 times 2 times 2. I hope you do understand this. So let's try more. Okay, let's try more. Let's write a proper example now. Okay, write the following numbers as a product of their prime factors. So let's have the numbers. Let's have 64. Let's have 81. Okay. Let's have 125. Let's have okay, let's just deal with these 3 first. So approaching this, you don't have to bother yourself listing out all the factors of the number. Simply go straight to your division. Okay, you have 64, that's for number 1. And when you look at 64, because it ends with an even number, I can see that 64 is an even number. And then the first, on your prime number list, okay, that you have, you first try to use 2 to divide until you cannot use 2 again, move to 3, until then that you cannot use 3 again, move to 5, like that. So practice and train yourself in that way. So because this one I can use 2 is an even number, then I will begin with 2, Then 2 in 6 will give me 3. 2 in 4 will give me 2. And then I would use 2 again because 32 is obviously divisible by 2. So 2 in 3 will give me 1. Then remainder 1, I take that 1 to this 2. That becomes 12. 2 in 12 will give me 6. That's 16. Then I can use 2 again. I'll say 2 in 1 will give me 0. And this 1, because I've not used it, I will bring it here. 2 in 16 will give me 8. Then 2 in 0, that's what 0 in 8 is 4. 2 in 4 will give me 2. 2 in 2 will give me 1. So until you have a 1, definitely you shouldn't try it again. Of course, there may not be any need for you to be putting this 0, so let me do that. Okay, 2 in 16 8, 2 in 8 4, 2 in 4 2, and then 2 in 2 1. So we first did 2 in 64 32. 2 in 32 we got 16. 2 in 16 we got 8. 2 in 8 we have 4. 2 in 4 we have 2. And 2 in 2 we have 1. So if you want to rule it like this, you can simply rule it like this. It will actually help you to see what you did. Now we can write that our 64 is actually 2 times 2. How many 2? 1 2 3 4 5 6 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, that's 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so 64 now has been written as a product of its prime factors. So that means that if we are to list the prime factors of 64, if you list it, you will see that only 2 will be a prime number out of them, and that is why this is correct. So let's move to number 2, which is 81. We are dealing with 81. Obviously, when you look at 81, it ends with 1, and that shows that it is not an even number. So 2 cannot work. So definitely I can try out 3. If you are not sure, first try it somewhere so that your work will not be rough. First try if 3 can go. So when you say 3 in 8, I will get 2, remainder 2, and that 2 here will make this one 21. So 3 in 21, I'm going to get 7. Oh, 3 can go, so I can now do it now. This way give me 27. In 27, obviously I can use 3 to divide that. That will give me 9. In 9, obviously I will get 3, and then I can use 3. That will give me what? 1. So I can write 81 equals 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So this gives me 81 as a product of its prime factors, the prime factor being what? 3. So number 3, let's try that. This will be 125. Okay, and looking at 125, I can simply see that I cannot use 2 because that is not an even number. If you try out 3, you also see that 3 cannot work because 3 in 12 will give you 4, but 3 in 5 will give you 1, remainder 2, and obviously there should not be remainder. That means that this cannot actually divide. 3 cannot divide it. So because it ends with 5, any number that ends with 5 can be divided by 5. So I will try 5. 5 in 12 will give me 2, remainder 2. 5 in 25 will give me 5. Then I can try 5 again. This will give me 5, and 5 in 5 will give me 1. So I can write 125 equals 5 times 5 times 5. So this is a product that will give me 125, and this product must be filled with only prime numbers, and that prime number must be the prime factor of 125. If you list out the prime factors of 125, you will see that it's only 5 that is a prime number, in those string of numbers. So these are 3 examples, that I have for you on this topic. writing a number as a product of its prime factors. So I hope you do understand this. Let me give you some questions for you to practice with. Okay, so just practice with this. You write this as a product of um, their prime factors. So I'll give you 144, 144. I'll give you number 225. Okay, just try these two. Try to write these two as a product of their prime factors. Alright, I'm sure you can actually simply try this. Okay, I'll see you in the next video, where we'll be moving on with more discussion using our knowledge of prime numbers. So please do like, share, subscribe. This is our handles on all social media at Matimasoft, on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Okay, and on our YouTube, very important, turn on the notification bell, because on our YouTube we have all the class organized, in topics for you. So till I come your way in the next video, remain blessed. Bye for now.